All right, short pause there. Because I like to keep these videos under 8 minutes, because, you know, most people have about 5 to 10 minutes each day to watch something. So the first one was sort of an introduction on Come Follow Me for this year, and I kind of missed it at the beginning of the year, so bad me, but showed you the resources, so go watch that one. But we're in section 3 through 5 this week, so it's 3, 4, 5 of the Doctrine and Covenants, and section 3 is, see, I'm still on my squeaky chair too, got a new one coming Saturday. Anyway, so got the camera this way too because of Instagram, and see it works better, and I've got to keep my leg sort of raised because I did a Lorraine and fell over and hurt myself again. Yeah, it's common. Okay, so section 3 is where the 116 pages go missing, and Martin Harris is distraught, and we see a lot about Martin Harris here, and we can follow that up. Now, in Saints, you can read all about Martin Harris. There's some really good resources about reading about him and his life. But you don't need to know all of that. What I can tell you is that he was a very kind man. He wanted to help. He had the right intention. He loved the Book of Mormon. The problem comes in where he starts thinking the best. Like, he's seeing Joseph Smith as this young, uneducated farm boy rather than the prophet and leader, because it's the very beginning stages, remember, and it's culturally, you listen to your elders. So Joseph felt the pressure and gave him like the pages. Martin copied some of the text. The guy said, you know, get the whole story. The guy says, yeah, took it to this Egyptologist, smart dude. Said, yep, that's right, I want to see it. Got all excited about it, and then asked where it was from, and then tore up the certificate of authenticity. Said, no, I don't have anything to do with that. And that's when sort of things started going downhill for Martin. And he's, you know, I feel for this guy, because culturally he's thinking, I just want to do the best for this book. I want people to know about it. I want it to be proven. Like, and he's trying to prove it in the world's way, where it has certificates of authenticity, where it has accolades of what a brilliant piece of masterful writing, and, you know, like we want it 5 stars on Amazon. That's what he was after. Whereas the Lord's more after the other way, where we all know and trust how we know the Book of Mormon is true, because we read it, we pray about it, and we feel it. And that's so much better than getting a 5-star review on Amazon, right? Although that's pretty cool too, but the Lord's way, way better. So Martin really had a trouble with his way versus the Lord's way, because he was still learning to do it the Lord's way and recognizing where that would come from, which is the prophet. So this talks about Martin Harris, and then later on you get to read more about him. He actually goes away from the church for a while and deals with a lot of issues around his own pride and wealth, and he's just a very interesting man, I would say. I actually really want to meet him. I think he's actually a good dude. You know, the one thing that I really appreciate from him is he was a witness of the gold plates, and he never ever denied that that was true. He did say he saw them. Even if he didn't like Joseph at the time, he did say he'd seen the gold plates. So, you know, look up some more about Martin Harris. There's the church website. You know, under all the different topics, you can look up different people. Look up him. It's a good read. Okay, so anyway, this is a really good, and there's this picture shows, you know, there's times where we feel like, oh, the light's on again. Times when we feel like that, right? Distraught, down, and that everything has gone just like, it's kind of hard. So this is a really good section to look at for get up and try again. And that failing is part of the process. Because in failing, we learn how to do it better the next time. Which Joseph Smith did. And when it comes to God's work, you look at verse 4. It talks about some different things and a good warning there. But whatever happens with the Lord's work, it's not lost, because God's work is never frustrated, and that's what this chapter tells us too. We're going to go over to verses 7 to 8, and that reads, For behold, you should not have feared man more than God, because that's what happened. They were worried about what men would think, and they were worried about that rather than obeying what God had told them. So you behold, you should not have feared man more than God. Although men set at naught the counsels of God and despise his words, yet you should have been faithful, and he would have extended his arm and supported you against all the fiery darts of the adversary, and he would have been with you in every time of trouble. So if you had listened, then he would be with you. Yeah, and you set at naught the counsels of God, because men set at naught the counsels of God and despise his words. Ain't that so true? Even now, like even more so now. Men do not listen to the counsels of God. Set that at zero value. And look what's happening to the world. Anyway, okay. So the question being is, whose opinion are you listening to? Are you listening to the world? Are you worried about what the world thinks of you? Are you worried about what Susan next door thinks of you? Are you worried about what Bob that you go to church with thinks of you? What are you worried about? And there's just random people, by the way, if you couldn't get that. So whose opinion are you worried about, or who are you listening to? So God's opinion of you is vastly different from what other people think, and even what you think. Vastly different. To the varied opinions and your own. And do not place your time in opinions that matter not, because it's a waste of time. Don't place your time in opinions that matter not, or are misplaced or distorted, because often the opinions of ourselves aren't that they don't matter, it's just that they're misplaced and distorted, because we have human thinking, not, God thinking, basically. Have faith, God is with us, because that's what he says here. Have faith, God is with us. Now, the thought from this is really cool. This is from Thomas S. Monson, and he says, let us not demean or belittle, rather, let us be compassionate and encouraging. We must be careful that we do not destroy another person's confidence through careless words or actions. Because it can be careless, it can just come out. And I've done that, and I'm trying to be better at that, and I still fail pretty much every day, but I can see improvement. So we must be careful that we do not destroy another person's confidence through careless words or actions. We don't want to tear anyone down. We want to build them up. We want them to feel better. So let's go do that, and let's listen to God's opinion rather than the world's opinion. All right, that's that one. I'll see you in a bit for the second insight this week. Stay tuned, guys.